Hey guys, it's Prisma coming at you with a rather somber Halo 2 video opening. There's a lot of talking at this mission starts, so I'll leave you to it for a while.
Bruce have betrayed us. The counselors.
So all that gunfire over there, originally Bungie's plan was for the counselors to get executed on screen. The counselors being those elites in the funny hats from the intro movie. But they couldn't implement it. They couldn't implement it quite right, so they just had it be off-screen and implied. Anyway, this is another Halo 2 level where the opening bit is one of the hardest parts. There are 8 brutes, that's right, 8 brutes in this opening section, and all you have are an energy sword and a plasma rifle. And whatever plasma grenades you can scavenge, but luckily, it's pretty easy to divide and conquer, as it were. We've already taken out 3 of the 8. If I could give any tip for this part, it is that use the energy sword just in case when you're assassinating people. Like, it does use up battery, but sometimes they'll turn around suddenly, and if they turn around suddenly, you'll want the extra damage from the energy sword, because it can 2-shot the brutes, even with the quick swipe. Well, 2 or 3-shot, depending on rank. Now, I'm actually bumming around this opening area instead of progressing. Not a lot of people know this. There's a little trigger. Well, not a trigger, but there's an event. If you wait here long enough, it makes the upcoming shootout.
Go see what's taking them so long.
Yeah, you may or may not have heard it. One of the brutes growls, "Go see what's taking them so long." If you wait for that, 2 of the brutes will split off from the main pack, and you take them out very easily. So now you only have 3 brutes to deal with in the final shootout instead of 5. Makes things a lot easier, especially since you are mostly by yourself. Music here is very good, by the way, but probably doesn't need to be said at this point in the Halo project. Luckily, one of the ones with a brute shot, too, is kind of just milling about over there, very easy to take out. That just leaves these last 2. Last one. Even better, when you approach the door, even if the brutes are still alive, a Spec Ops elite armed with an energy sword will come out to help you. I was very confused here, because I thought the brutes were dead, but he wasn't saying his dialogue. So I realized one of the brutes was alive, but I wasn't sure where he was. Turns out, Halo 2 AI moment, he got stuck on a rock.
What have these brutes done? They have shed our brother's blood, and for that they must die.
Agreed, brother.
Zealot, so much for a stealthy advance. Over so soon?
Alright, so you get 3 elite reinforcements. Sadly, they're just elite miners. Well, except for the Zealot. But remember, in Halo 2, a Zealot is equivalent in strength to an elite major. They just happen to have energy swords. They aren't particularly...
There are more brutes to kill.
They are particularly strong, unlike in Halo 1. Still, you have 4 elite helpers, some grunts. Don't worry, the hard part's almost over. You got those 2 initial brutes to take out. Sadly, I missed the grenade, so one of my allies died, but that left him open for the back smack. Luckily, you can trade out your plasma rifle for a carbine right there. I have a very good friend named Spectre. He likes when I use varied weapons, but sorry, plasma rifles against brutes just is not a very good combo. And I'm going to be ditching the energy sword pretty soon, too. This fight is a little tricky because the enemies have the elevation advantage, so they can shoot down on you from multiple angles. Now, I mentioned in the last video that the brute shot, like melee-wise, it's kind of a discount energy sword, but that's not why I'm picking it up. I'm picking it up because some drones are actually camping out up there. You can kill them all, or kill most of them, very easily with the brute shot. There's an annoying prick with the needler who's still alive, but one drone by himself is no threat. Sadly, my brute shot, it's kind of randomized how much ammo, like, weapons dropped by enemies have sometimes, so, like, I got kind of unlucky, got, like, a really shitty brute shot, so I gotta replace it.
Thought you would replace us?
No, I was trying to replace my brute shot. And I missed a stick. But that's okay, because this part isn't particularly hard. After you mop up the drones prematurely. Anyway. No, they're all gone. Sadly, my zealot died, but that's kind of what they do. They're not very good. I'm going to pick up dual needlers. I mean, I think the last video made the case for how effective they are against brutes. I made a little cut there because it's just me walking back. No need to make you sit through that. There's a brute with a brute shot here. You can super combine him very easily. And then there's a bunch of jackals. And I think there's another brute down here, but my elite allies take him out pretty easily. Or, no, wait, no, I have to super combine him, but, you know, either way, not a big deal. This room's pretty easy. Unfortunately, though, the next room is quite difficult.
One down. Who am I to refuse it?
It doesn't help that your allies are very dumb, but I digress. I've kind of harped on that point a lot in this game. Anyway, there are a bunch of... How do I put this? It's like... It seems like you would have the elevation advantage, but the enemy, like, reinforcements are staggered, so you start out with a bunch of jackals, and then when you drop to the platform below that is going to suddenly be occupied with 4 brutes. You can see them spawn in there. Now, the problem is, if you drop down to that lower platform, 4 more brutes are going to come from that the exit door. Yeah, right there, that exit door that's on screen right now. So then you will be sandwiched between 8 brutes, which is... And most of them have brute shots, too. So it's a very quick way to get yourself killed on legendaries, so... It's a little annoying, but technically the ideal strategy is to somehow find a way to kill the 4 brutes below you without dropping down below. It's a little tricky. And it's especially hard because one of them has a brute shot. I guess... If I could give any tips, it would be try and take out the brute shot guy. Yeah, like, because he kills you very quickly if you're not careful. I think that's my first death of the level. I don't die too much in this level, don't worry. It's not going to be... There won't be a death montage like last time. But this time I do a slightly better job. Sometimes you can get lucky and the brute with the brute shot will be a brute miner and you can just headshot him. But that won't always happen. One thing you can do that I kind of realize is I fire a shot to draw them out of cover, and that gives me some easy kills. So I killed 1, and that might seem like a bad stick, and it was, but that, you know, the splash damage actually will help me out later, because I get a successful stick. And that's a double kill because one of the other brutes was weakened by the splash damage. So now there's only one berserking one left, and obviously a berserking brute when you have the elevation advantage is no good. So, yeah. Just take it slow. This part, on the other hand, you want to take fast. You want to kill all the brutes with the brute shots as quickly as possible and then jump into cover. This works better if you have allies helping you out. If you don't, you might have to take it conservatively. But I was lucky I got to push up. I got to be aggressive. Sadly, there is a needler ammo crate on the platform right above this, but I kind of rushed down too quickly, so I didn't grab it, but that's okay. Ideally, you would have more needler ammo on this part, but I make do with what I have. There's a brute on a shade turret. Very easy super combined kill there. There's a bunch of brutes and jackals down there. You want to be a little careful because once you thin their numbers enough, a bunch of brute reinforcements are going to come through that door, and those brute reinforcements will charge up your position. Like they'll charge right up the platform to where you are. Halo enemies aren't always that aggressive. Brutes in general are more aggressive than elites. I almost die here. If that was a brute major, I would have died, but luckily it was just a minor, so I was able to get the headshot before he could kill me. Ideally, yeah, you would have a needler for this part, but I make do with the brute shot. Well, not really, I kind of wasted. But I do get that awesome stick. Assuming that you have better aim than I do, Brute Shot is a very good weapon at dealing with berserking brutes, because it can, if you can get the bullets reasonably close, it's a 3-shot. But, you know, the Brute Shot's enhanced melee damage helps out a lot, too. Especially if you have a grunt to make the sacrifice play for you. Thank you, Grunt, for volunteering for that role. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, a grunt ally isn't going to help you much on Legendary, so it's not a huge loss either way. This is me scrounging for ammo. It doesn't really matter, though, as long as you have a carbine, because, believe it or not, they just straight up give you a fuel rod right here. On difficulties lower than Legendary, they actually give you the fuel rod at the start of the previous room, and you just get some more ammo here, and then there's some more fuel rod ammo up here, so that's one way this level's a lot easier on lower difficulties.
Hiding will not stand.
Obviously, this part is no trouble at all with a fuel rod.
Keep up the pressure.
And you get, if your elite allies had died, you get some more reinforcements here automatically. But sadly, the brutes get reinforcements too, and the second wave of brute reinforcements come with a jackal sniper, who gets me there. Even when you know exactly where they are, sometimes they can still get you. And I had an embarrassing death here, because I accidentally shot the door before it was finished opening. Just thought I'd leave that in. How embarrassing. But alright, let's stop monkeying around. Haha. Yeah, this encounter is really annoying because there's a bunch of brutes with brute shots, but you can't really do anything about them because you're pinned by the stupid jackal sniper. So the objective is to find the jackal sniper and take him out as quickly as possible. Your allies, of course, help a little, but how much they help is, of course, variable. One kind of neat thing here, you may have noticed, these brutes are armed with human shotguns. They're wielding human shotguns, so you want to take them out from long range because they'll kill you basically instantly. Yeah, you saw me like go past a pickup prop, but obviously I'm not going to pick up the Halo 2 shotgun. What I will pick up is the Halo 2 beam rifle every time. But alright, now it's time for a Halo 2 vehicle section, you'd think. But sadly, you kind of have to get out here to take out the jackal sniper. It's camping. Now, this part is a little annoying because remember that brutes, they take half damage from plasma, so it basically takes twice as long to take them out with a ghost as it should, but like, if a brute isn't armed with a brute shot, they can't really do much to you. You want to watch out for brute shots, but otherwise all they can really do is throw slow-moving plasma grenades at you. Yeah, see, one brute shot, and that's a third of my shield's gone, so even in a vehicle, so your allies will get in ghosts and help you if they're still alive, but help, in big air quotes, they mostly get in the way. Actually, they can do more harm than good because your allies have a tendency to push too far ahead, and they get their vehicles hijacked by the enemy brutes, and then the brutes have the ghosts, and brutes and ghosts can kill you very quickly because they're so tanky. So, This part's really annoying because you have multiple waves of brutes and jackals to deal with. I think it's like 3 waves in total. It's a lot of brutes and jackals. And the jackals can do that to you. It does give me a chance to show off something kind of neat. If you use Arbiter's active camo and then get into a vehicle, the enemies will actually treat the vehicle as invisible until the camo runs out. It's not extraordinarily useful, but like here, it can be used to like get right up in their faces without them being able to do anything. That's kind of neat. Alright. That part's a little annoying, but... Oh, wait. I forgot about this brute captain right here. Alright. Music here is excellent, as per usual. Alright. So, this encounter's a bit annoying because there is a jackal sniper once again, camping right there. Up on that ledge, there's some grunt. Well, not that ledge. The one to my left that I shot the jackal with the carbine. There's going to be some grunts up there by a shade turret. The jackal is holding them prisoner, but if you kill the jackal, the grunts will arm the shade turret and help you. So once you thin out the enemy number, I'm not exactly sure what the trigger is, but eventually a specter full of brutes will come in. If you stay all the way back here, you'll be perfectly safe, and it's basically a death trap for the brutes. Very easy to pick them off. But be careful, because a second jackal sniper comes with the specter, so you want to be careful of that. And also a second wave of brutes. Here's a weird thing.
Look out!
Somebody want to explain that to me? Yeah. Alright. Now, I did all that. There's a fresh crate of beam rifles up here, so that's another reason to come up here. Grunts are probably going to die, but oh well. Now, here's something tragic. My hands were shaking a little bit, because that part's kind of difficult. I mean, you saw how close that jackal sniper came to killing me, but there was one brute I missed. He got on the Spectre turret, and yeah, I forgot just how tanky brutes can be. Legendary, and I beef it. And if that, you know, I was pretty... This was my second attempt at recording the level, so I was pretty steaming mad at this point. But I died again because I forgot about the second jackal sniper, but... Alright, enough of that nonsense. This is how you do that part correctly. Yeah, I'm pretty good at Halo. No, I'm just... I can't say that after dying twice, but yeah. Don't worry about being a bit extra with your beam rifle ammo, because there's plenty of it in this level. But yeah, don't worry, there's not like a metric shit ton of reinforcements like the last map, like the last little part. You go straight up here after that second wave. Don't ask me why I keep replacing my ghost. I guess it's an aesthetic thing. I prefer my ghost to be clean. Now, this part is a little weird because it's literally just a screen of 4 jackals. Just 4 jackals. Even on Legendary, there's just 4 jackals. I guess it's a good place to get ghosts if, like, your allies lost their ghosts but they didn't die. I'm not really sure. Yep. No trick, even on Legendary, just 4 jackals. This screen is a little bit more substantial, but it's still pretty easy. First of all, you'll want to back up, because there's 2 jackal snipers. I'm pretty sure they can't get you back here, but I didn't want to chance it. Somehow I missed all 3 shots there. What do you mean somehow? You're bad. No, but this is a pretty easy screen, because after you take out Jackal snipers, literally none of the enemies can do anything about you all the way back here, so you can just snipe all the brutes. I like to snipe their helmets off first, because that way if they start berserking, I only have to headshot them once while they're berserking instead of twice, which is much easier. Yeah, don't even try and snipe shielded jackals with a carbine from long range. It's not going to work. You'll just waste a bunch of ammo. But, you know, I know there's 2 fresh beam rifles waiting for me, so I have no problem with killing a jackal with a beam rifle. See, now that's much better. Yeah. Once again, this is another one of those calm before the storm moments, because the next encounter is quite difficult. I will say, for the record, if you're playing this level on your own, you can totally drive past a lot of this. Although there's no like super consistent way to do it if you're not a speedrunner. You know, so you are likely to sometimes you just get sniped out of your ghost by a jackal sniper. So I prefer to take some of these slow. I probably, even on this playthrough, I probably would have skipped past that first bit with all the brutes and jackal reinforcements if I didn't want to try and keep my allies alive, which failed. Alright, yeah, this part's a little annoying because 2 jackal snipers are camping right at the end of this waterfall. Worst of all, if you push too far up, the like chapter title screen will come up, and that makes your reticle disappear. So I've definitely had it happen where I've been playing this mission, the reticle disappears because I forgot that happens, and then I get sniped by the second one over there. Alright, now here's another easy sniping segment. You can snipe them all, and there's not really anything they can do about it. Kind of embarrassing. Just use your beam rifle, you idiot. What are you doing? Oh, jeez. You ever see, like, your past self playing really badly? That's me right now. Just use your beam rifle. One thing to be careful of is there's some brutes with brute shots camping the little land bridge over there. There's also a third... Actually, I fell down here on purpose because... Well, you'll see. But yeah, there's some brutes camping that little ledge. You want to... I almost died there, but luckily, yeah, there's... it's a little hard to see, but there's 2 wraiths over there. The one... This is super consistent. You can draw one of the wraiths over here, actually. That might seem strange, but... I totally thought I died there. I must have boarded it like the last possible frame. Yep. Remember, vehicle boarding is a feature in this game, so for the first time all game, I'm gonna take a wraith for myself. Use the land bridge as cover. You can take out the enemy wraith pretty easily. By the way, there's actually a third jackal sniper over in that second lake bed where the wraith is. When you're in the wraith, you are immune to beam rifles, so time for some sweet revenge. Bam. Very satisfying. Alright. Now, no, this part is super annoying because there are 3 waves of 4 brutes, so 12 brutes total. This isn't hard at all, because you can just hop into your wraith tank and very easily take them out. It's just... It takes forever for them to spawn, but they spawn out of the doorway that you need to go out of. So this part is really boring. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do and fast forward. I wouldn't mind that part so much, honestly, if the waves didn't take so long to spawn. That was on triple speed, for the record. that footage that you just saw. There's a bunch of ammo over here, carbine and beam rifle ammo and stuff, but you honestly don't need any ammo for the rest of the mission because it's very tedious, but it's super oh. Did you just hear that sound? Okay, so you get more elite allies and drop pods here, but you want to be careful because that is the trigger for 2 more jackal snipers spawning, so you want to just hop into your tank and deal with them before they can just, completely demolish all your allies. Because, spoiler alert, Halo 2 AI does not know how to deal with snipers, enemy snipers. Very, unfortunate, but I did a pretty good job there. Alright. But yeah, it's very tedious, but it's super consistent. Whenever you have to fight enemies, you can just hop back into this tank and beat them up. And frankly, the combat encounters in this part of the mission are kind of poorly balanced, so I don't feel bad about doing it. It is boring, though. It's a shame because I kind of like this level, but this end part really kills it for me. I'd consider this a C tier level just because of this ending part right here. Oh, and that part where you need to fight brutes on a ledge. That part kind of sucks too. But it's not as bad as something like Quarantine Zone, but yeah, this isn't a level I come back to. One cool thing is you have like this brute armory here.
What vulgar taste! Even as trophies, these weapons are worthless.
Like I said, you don't really need ammo because you have the Wraith tank, but I try and give this... This is probably the epitome so far of AI stupidity. He will not let me give him the rocket launcher. And then, I decide, fuck him, whatever. But then I hear him get into my tank. And I know he's just going to get himself killed somehow, or kill me. By the way, when an ally or you goes through the exit door in the armory, it spawns a wave of brutes and, once again, 2 more jackal snipers. These are the last jackal snipers of the level, though, thankfully. But certainly not the last brutes. Now, see, if that was a scorpion tank, that stick would have probably killed me, but wraiths are, no pun intended, a lot tankier than scorpions, in exchange for doing a lot less damage and having that awkward firing arc. Okay. So, I'm going to make a little cut here because it's just me walking back to the armory. Yeah, a lot of walking back if you choose to do the safe but boring method. Finally, this idiot lets me give him the rocket launcher.
Yes, Governor. This will do nicely.
I hope so. Yeah, a lot of weapons, but like I said, it doesn't particularly matter. Once you push forward enough... Okay, so you'll want to listen out for it with your ears. I don't know why I paused there, but whatever. Yeah, there's a brute with a ghost who comes up. Yeah, it's a strange place to fight a ghost. And a bunch of other... I think 3 other brutes will be behind him. So, just hop back in your tank and deal with them. Sadly, even though I arm my allies with the best equipment possible, they still manage to die because they are, to be fair, they are just elite miners, so now we have another part where I'm just lobbing wraith mortars at monkeys, so cue the music. Alright, so this final wave right here is a good indication of why I consider these last few shootouts to be a little poorly designed. By the way, don't do this on foot if you're playing it, just go back to the tank. I'm just doing this on foot to demonstrate what fighting these out is like on foot. To be clear, this is a different third wave. They sent 2 waves with brutes on a ghost. Okay, alright, Halo 2 physics moment. This is a second wave led by a brute on a ghost, and the rest of the wave doesn't spawn until you get to a certain part of the cave. And this time it includes some jackals. Yeah. Just brutes with brute shots in very tight corridors. Not fun. I actually died twice off screen, but I cut those out. Like I said, there's no reason you can't just go back to your tanks, so I wouldn't say those deaths really count, but that might just be me coping. One of those deaths was because the brute with the brute shot detonated some plasma grenades behind me. I didn't actually know that the brute shot could do that. But alright. Yeah, I was definitely sick of this level by this point, but luckily, we're right at the end. I'll see you after the cutscene.
By the rings, Arbiter. The counselors, are they
Murdered by the brutes.
vile, disloyal beasts? The prophets were fools to trust them.
But alright, that was level 11, Uprising. We're almost done. Par score is about 9,000. I had 7 total deaths on this level, as you will see in just a moment. Although 2 of those don't really count. No, but yeah, 7 deaths. I will see you... If you are the kind of person who doesn't like bonus footage, I will see you for level 12, the penultimate level, High Charity. Fun fact, this level has no... it's the only level in the game where you have no allies at all. It's just your character that you're controlling, who is obviously Chief, yeah, by himself. But alright. Back here for the bonus footage. This terminal is extremely easy to find. It's basically impossible to miss. Actually, I think my first time playing through the game, this was the first terminal I found. Oh, let me just take out these brutes real fast. This was recorded on Heroic, for what it's worth. Not that it really matters. I don't know why I went up here. I guess I was worried about the Jackal snipers killing my ally, but I mean, this is just a playthrough to gather bonus footage. Sadly, they put it really far into the level, so you might as well just finish the level off anyway. Anyway, yeah, it's literally just right behind here. Super easy to find.
I'm starting to fear that you're not very smart.
Mind your tongue, Oracle.
Oh, I mean no offense. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your species. How long have these prophets been anointing arbiters?
Since the fall of Falchavami, the first disgraced arbiter, roughly 400 years ago.
Incredible! And in all this time, it never occurred to you how convenient it was that your prophets were able to find a powerful, capable leader among your people, who happened to suddenly commit a terrible blasphemy every time the power structure of your covenant was threatened.
I do not understand.
You do little to dissuade my fears.
Then teach me.
Looking back at the record of the Arbiters you discussed, was it not surprising to anyone that those chosen to become Arbiter were more than simple warriors?
How so?
Each of them had significant political influence among your people. In some cases, that influence was already being used to question the decisions of your hierarchs. In fact, that very questioning often gave rise to the charges of heresy that so neatly removed the challenger from the hierarchs concerned.
And once they were branded Arbiter,
They promptly and quite cheerfully ran to meet their deaths.
all our lives we looked down at the path, put our feet where the prophets tell us. All our lives spent convincing ourselves of the truth of our covenant. Could all of it truly have been wasted?
Let's hope not all of it, for we have a great deal of work to do. The Flood is still out there, so I require a cooperative reclaimer to enact proper containment procedures. But your Covenant keep trying to kill all the reclaimers I can find. All this bickering is quite a deadly waste of time. Right now, the most important question we can ask is this. Who could break this hold the prophets have over you?
Guilty Spark is my favorite racist. But no, in all seriousness, I will see everybody for level 12. High Charity. It's gonna be a short one. I'm starting to get this crazy feeling that Halo 2 had a troubled development cycle or something.